Okay, today I'm wrapping this reflector on this Hyundai Sonata with Luxe Lightwrap Mid smoke. And this is just a short video kind of showing my process of doing it. I typically will run some painter's tape just around the light I'm doing. Is it necessary? No, you don't have to. For me, I just prefer to, just to lower the surface energy on the outside portion so that when I'm wrapping this, the film's just sticking to that and I can pick it up. And you'll kind of see, as I'm going how that kind of makes it a little bit easier when you're wrapping this. Now this is a small piece, so again, you don't have to do this. I just prefer doing it. I just feel like it helps me a smidge more. And I already cleaned it with a prep and surface tack. I'm just kind of using this lint-free, just doing a once over anything that might be still floating or setting on there. I always like to wear a wrap glove. Is it necessary? No, you don't have to. I just prefer it. So I'll peel this guy off, the Luxe Mid Smoke. And when I'm first setting, I'm just trying to get basically my kind of right there in one of the crevices, and I just run my finger all the way to the corner. And with this film, it is air egress, so if there is any small bubbles, it's not the end of the world. You can just push them down. This film's not too tacky. Right now it's about 72, 74 degrees in my garage, so it's not too bad. Now when it's in the 80s plus, when it touches, it does, the adhesive does get very, a lot more aggressive. So what I'm doing right now, I'm not trying to force, it might look like I'm forcing, but I'm just lightly pushing and kind of letting the film do what it wants to do without forcing it. After I've gotten to this point, I'll usually grab two tools I'll usually use. One is a flex string tool. The other one is the yellow tools. I believe it's called the beaver tail. Both are great tools. I'll usually prefer this one because it's a little bit softer. And what I'll do is picking the film up just a little bit. And I can also trim this back a little bit. For me, I like having that where I can pick up away from it. And I'm going to take this tool, and I'm kind of just, right now I'm just kind of letting it feed lightly. I love this tool though because it's very low chance of cutting the film, which if you're not careful with the other tool here, and I'll go use that next. I always like to start with this just to kind of lightly feed it into this crevice. Then I'll come back with this guy. Now at this point, I am actually going to trim this back just a little bit so I can see. I want to make sure I can see what I'm doing in here. I'm not sure, hopefully the camera is able to get this, but now I'm not forcing, I'm just kind of just lightly, just giving it a little bit of a push. You don't want to stretch this film. If you force it and stretch it, you have a higher chance of it lifting back up. So it's just picking it up and tucking it, and we don't have to go super deep. I'm just trying to get just right to that edge. And again, this is with this tool, as long as you're not shoving it hard, you're not going to cut the film. But if you shove it hard, this can slice the film. It acts kind of as a blade, essentially. It's not, you're not going to cut your finger, but it's still a little sharp. So now that I have this, next I'll take my heat gun. I'm just going to go over it just once, just to make sure, see if the film's doing anything. Let it relax a little bit. Nothing's jumping back at me. And again, it's a flat surface, so there's no reason for me to like shove it and yank it and heat and stretch it. So on something like this, it's a flat surface, so you shouldn't have to force anything. Now I'll click my blade, I barely have it out, usually just 1 or 2 clicks, and I just let it run along that. There's a nice clean space for the blade to sit, and I can push up against the reflector lightly and use that as kind of my guide. Now that I've had it trimmed, I'll go over once more with this. Start from the corners, ideally, and push anything that you have away from the corner. If you push it towards the corner, you're going to get a little bit of a buildup, and then you'll get what's called a finger, which is just the film where it bunches up, and just from the excess of material. So then after I've done the corners, now I can just kind of run it along the whole thing. I could actually even use my fingernail, just let my fingernail kind of push with the wrap glove on. And after that, what I'll do is I'll peel the tape off since I no longer need this. And then I'm going to take the heat gun and I'm going to heat right where the little indentation is. And what's nice about this film is it pretty much forms fairly good. So it will look, once I'm done here, I'll get the camera a little bit closer. It almost looks like an OEM stamped piece. Not 100%, but 95%, I'd say it molds to the raised lettering just from the stamp. So I'll show you that real quick right here. It does get fairly hot. One little spot lift up on me on this corner. So now let me get the camera and see. If I can get to focus. And you can kind of see how it's kind of you can make out the letters and everything in marks, so pretty cool. Again, this is the Luxe Lightwrap Mid smoke film, and that's pretty much how you do it, or at least that's how I do it.